Hi, everyone. Welcome to a brand new episode of Not Aspirational. I'm your host, Hannah Erin Brown. Welcome back, everybody. Last week's episode was pre-recorded, so now we are back on our regular recording schedule, and I'm so excited to be back here in real time with y'all. This week's episode is going to be a little Chicago recap, and I know that I said that I don't want this podcast to be a brag journal where it's just like, me, here's where I went, and here's what I did, but this trip was sort of like a Stand By Me trip. And by that, I mean, I felt different at the end than I did at the beginning. It was like a very transformative, important healing trip for me. So I thought that it was worth sharing. And hopefully there are some nuggets of unhinged comedy and maybe wisdom in there for y'all. But before we get into that, first of all, I just want to say thank you so much to everyone who found me over here through Everything Iconic and who's been messaging me saying that they love the And Just Like That recaps and that they love this show. It means the world to me. I know I say that all the time, but it's true. We'll get into it later, but I did have a low career vibe last week. When I got back from my trip, I got kind of depressed. We'll get into that later, as I said. But I got a message from one of you that was just so fucking nice about how the And Just Like That recaps made you feel less alone and made you laugh when you really needed it. And that's literally that's a large part of why I do this. I just want to make people feel less alone and I want to make people giggle. So thank you all so much for that. And oh my God, it's July. It's officially my birthday month. So I just want to apologize in advance for just how insufferable I will become the next few weeks. Now, here's the thing. I think everyone should live their truth. I think life's short and do whatever the fuck you want. I personally am not the kind of person that's it's my birthday month and I'm celebrating all month long. I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. I want to do one thing, one big party, and then a date night with Jake where we go to dinner. I am not the kind of person who have you ever had this happen where someone's I can't come to your birthday, but I would love to take you to birthday drinks or birthday dinner. How's this night next week? And it's so now this actually just became about you. This nice thing that you're trying to do is actually you trying to absolve yourself of some sort of guilt that you can't come to my birthday. And now it's about me accommodating your schedule when really it should be the other way around. So it's if you can't come to a party, just don't come. But we don't need to do this song and dance of we got to reschedule. We got to do something else. It's okay. You can't come. There's always next year. In the immortal words of Rapunzel, that's the thing about birthdays. They're kind of an annual thing. So anyways, I'm happy it's July. I'm feeling good about July. We're going to Kansas City for the 4th of July this weekend, which will be fun. Our nation is in the shitter, but I'd be lying if I said I don't love a hot dog and an excuse to wear my red cowboy boots. So we contain multitudes, but I hope y'all enjoy the 4th of July, whatever your plans may be. And let's see, what else? Oh, also before we get into the Chicago recap, a couple pop culture things. I am finally caught up on Love Island. And I also managed to brainwash Jake into also liking Love Island. And this is huge. And with Love Island, this happened to me last summer too. I was very late to the party last summer. I was 30 episodes behind. I got in towards the end. But I always take 6 to 7 episodes to settle in. And then once I get into it, I'm fucking in. And yesterday, which was Sunday, we spent the whole afternoon into night just binge watching Love Island. And when I tell you, it was fucking glorious. I needed it so bad. And here's just sort of my high level takeaways in this moment. If you're not caught up in Love Island and you don't want spoilers, fast forward a little bit, okay? Okay. So, first of all, when Nick and Alondria came back, I was thrilled. That was very, very important to me. There was a brief moment where I was do they have chemistry? Are they low-key the cutest couple on the island? And then when she was no, we don't. I was okay, never mind. I stand corrected. The fact that Huda is still on this show is both my nightmare and a gift because her crash outs make me feel better about the ones that I've had in my lifetime. And mind you, I've had some unlikable moments in my life. And then I see Huda and I go, no, I'm good. And that being said, had I been on Love Island in my early 20s, whoo, so it's I don't want to judge, but I do have to judge because she's so unhinged. And I can't believe she's still on the show. Also, Austin, not one single thought bouncing around in that frosty tipped little head of his. I gotta be honest. I am shocked that he's still here. He really is a living example of how straight white men can get away with doing the bare minimum and still somehow have opportunities, because I'm like, you don't have a personality, like, and you have frosted tips. And for those two reasons alone, banished, dumped from the island. Okay. Dumped. Shelly is currently really pissed at Huda. By the time this comes out, I'm recording this Monday, there's gonna be like a whole new batch of drama. So I don't even know why the fuck I'm even doing this, but whatever. I'll wrap it up in a second. Shelly's mad at Huda because she grinded on Ace during the challenge. And like Shelly was like, that wasn't cool. And that there's speculation on the internet that like maybe Ace got a boner. And like, oh well, like I will say that's something, there's a lot of like privileges when it comes to being a man. A male privilege that I wouldn't be able to handle if I were a man is just getting like an involuntary boner, or like a boner at the worst times. Like, can you imagine? I get stressed out when I like nip out at the gym, which like I need to grow up about personally. Grow up. But if I had an involuntary boner and I couldn't do anything about it, and like my Love Island girlfriend was right there, I'd be like, ooh. So I will say, I don't think Huda did anything any differently than anyone else did in the challenge. And I'm like, no. Like, don't get me wrong. I don't fucking like Huda, and I do love Shelly. But I'm like, I feel like you just don't like Huda, Shelly. And like, that's okay. That's okay. But you know what I mean? It's like one of those like bitch eating crackers things. I don't know if you've ever heard that term, but it's like, if you don't like someone, she could be eating crackers and you're like, God, that's fucking annoying. But if you love someone, they could do like anything and you wouldn't mind. So that's where I stand with the Shelly Huda drama. We'll see where it goes, though. We'll see where it goes. Also, I want to say, I do wish Coco didn't get voted off. I know that the people in Casa Amor, like, it's harder for them to get caught up. But, like, I thought she was, like, so gorgeous and so classy. And I just, like, wanted to see what she did next. Like, I felt like I just wanted to see what she did on the island. I want to see who she could make out with and date. And so justice for Coco. But I am really enjoying the season. And if you're not in it, get into it. I'm behind on everything. I haven't watched DCC season 2. I'm behind on The Valley. Like, I'm like zeroed in on Love Island, and it's a gorgeous place to be, but also a little bit overwhelming. And I know that after the 4th of July, I'm going to be like, fuck, and I'm going to have to like get caught up again. So it's a lot, but I'm having a great time. And I love being included in things. I don't like being left out. So it's like fun to be in on the joke with the internet. Another pop culture thing that's important to me, the trailer for the new Bruce Springsteen biopic has dropped, and Jeremy Allen White is playing Bruce Springsteen. I've seen Jeremy Allen White like a handful of times here in LA. He's constantly at Jones on 3rd in Studio City, not to blow up his spot, but like he is there a lot. And he's a good looking guy for sure, but I'm generally not into guys with like lighter features, and he has blue eyes. But in the Bruce Springsteen biopic, he is in brown contact lenses. And he's all like sweaty, and he's like, born to run. And I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, and the Debbie Ryan meme, I'm like, it's doing something to me. Jeremy Allen White as Bruce Springsteen is doing a lot for me. Speaking of, similar but different, Billy Joel documentary coming out July 18th. That is the birthday gift that keeps on giving for me. I don't know if y'all know this, but I'm like a Billy Joel head. I'm a Billy Joel super fan. For my 18th birthday, I went to a Billy Joel Elton John concert at Wrigley Field. My karaoke song of choice is all 7 minutes of scenes from an Italian restaurant. I fucking love Billy Joel. I went through a phase in college where when I was depressed, I would just go on YouTube and I'd watch Billy Joel interviews. So when I tell you I'm excited for this documentary, and the fact that it comes out like right before my birthday, like, it truly is a gift. Like, the universe is always on our side. It gives you what you need. And I can't fucking wait. And someday, if there is a Billy Joel biopic, I hope whoever they cast delivers hotness and riz the way Jeremy Allen White is as Bruce Springsteen based on that trailer. Moving right along, Labubu's are apparently like, they're sweeping the internet, the Labubu's. And I'm so behind. Apparently Labubu's have been relevant for like 6 months, and I'm late to everything. And there's like Lafufus, there's like fake ones. And it reminds me of that episode of Arthur with the Weebles and the Woobles. Do you remember this? If you don't remember this, I'm sorry, but there was an episode of Arthur, PBS kids out there. There's an episode of Arthur where they had these little like toys called, I think, Weebles. And they were really hard to get. It was like Crazy Bones. Like, they were really hard to get. And then Arthur gets a fake one called a Wooble. And everyone's like, ew, that's a Wooble. That's fake. And I'm like, not even going to try to get in on the Labubu craze. Mainly because, like, I talked about this with concert tickets. I don't like the frantic feeling as a consumer of being like, oh, I got to get this thing. It's a desperate, scarcity-based energy that I don't subscribe to. So I will not be getting in on the Labubu trend. However, couple weeks ago, I mentioned Bad Crap, my friend Amanda's company, Bad Crap. And I'm like definitely wanting to get in on the bag charm action. And the bag charm that I'm currently in the market for is a Bads Maru Sanrio keychain. Millennial girlies out there, do you remember Sanrio was like such a moment when we were in like 5th grade, like Hello Kitty and then the little puppy. Bads Maru was my favorite, of course, because he was like an angsty penguin that like always looked pissed off. He was like, So I'm looking for a vintage Bads Maru keychain to add to my bag. And I'm manifesting that I find one maybe for my birthday. I don't know. I'm already getting lucky this birthday month with the Billy Joel documentary. If I can manifest a Bads Maru keychain for my bag charm collection, that would be fucking dope. Musical update. We have Lord's new album Virgin out and then Haim's new album I Quit out, and both are spectacular. I'm not exaggerating. I thought Lorde was going to be okay. So I'm not super familiar with her last, I think it's her last album, Solar Power. Couldn't really get into that one. I'm going to revisit it, but I thought it was going to be like a Solar Power melodrama hybrid. But again, I can't really draw off of Solar Power, so I can't fully weigh in, but I will say I'm getting a Pure Heroine, her first album, Pure Heroine melodrama hybrid, which is the album of my dreams. And it's kind of a slow burn. The second listen through, you go, wait a fucking minute. This is a masterpiece. It is. And then Haim's new album is almost like, it's kind of like, my sister described it as like Dawson's Creek music. And I like that. I really like that. I definitely prefer their like upbeat bops more, but I'm having a great time. Great summer album. And oh my God, when I was in Chicago, there was a day where I had kind of a free day. I didn't have anything planned. And I just went on a walk to Logan Square listening to new Haim. And I literally felt like I was levitating. Like main character energy on a trip by yourself, gorgeous sunny day, headphones in, new album that you're vibing with, going on a hot girl walk by yourself to go get a beer. Top 5 human experiences an AI could never fucking understand. Ever. It was really fun. It was cathartic. So with that said, let's get into my Chicago trip. Okay, so I left on Tuesday, the 17th on a red eye. I had an 11:30 flight, got delayed to a 12:30 flight. So I got to the airport like late and I wanted to grab a little glass of red wine before my flight, knock out on the plane, do some editing, do some reading, have my little main character airport moment. And like with love and light to Jake, I was really excited to have some alone time like in transit. And because we both work from home, so it's like kind of a lot. And no bars were open. By the way, I also saw Hayden Panettiere, which was wild. I was like, oh my God, like I'm actually freaking out. I wanted to be her as a child, but that's neither here nor there. Saw her, we made eye contact. I acted like I didn't know who she was, but I was internally screaming. So I go on like a 20-minute walk around the airport to try and find a bar, but like nothing is open because it's so fucking late at LAX. And I walk by one of the airport lounges and this gentleman in front of it who was like scanning people's passes, not relevant, but he was also incredibly handsome and wearing a really nice suit. He was like, were you down here earlier? And I was like, no. And he was like, oh my God, someone walked by who looked just like you and was wearing your exact same outfit. And I was wearing my like Wonder Active sweat set. And I started laughing. I was like, well, that's really embarrassing for me. Like, I guess I'm like super basic. And we like laughed. And I was like, okay, have a good night. 20 minutes later, I keep trying to find somewhere to have a glass of wine. Can't find it. Go back up to him. I like walk back by. We make eye contact. I'm like, I can't find anywhere in this airport to get a drink. Like, can you believe? And he's like, when's your flight? And he lets me in on the sneaky into this airport lounge. It's so nice. And also because like the airport lounge I used to be able to get into, I can't get into anymore because they made it really fucking hard. So I get into this airport lounge and I'm like, holy shit, am I a witch? Like I'm manifesting incredible abundance in this moment. And I get inside and I drink this amazing wine and I yap with the bartender in the bar back and we're just like joking and telling stories about hospitality and I'm getting a good buzz on and I'm having a blast. And then I get their Venmos and I like tip them fat. I had such a good time. And then I found out, and this is like a little PSA, I found out that a lot of people who work in airport lounges as servers do not make very good money because since everything is floppy air quote complimentary, people don't think to tip them. They just go, oh my God, everything's free. This is great. This is great. No, not okay. And no one carries cash on them anymore. And they're not allowed to say, hey, by the way, here's my Venmo. Like, because it like takes away from the guest experience. So, life hack, when you're in an airport lounge and you say, wow, everything's complimentary, this is so great. If you want to be cool, ask whoever is serving you, hey, what's your Venmo? I would love to give you a tip. I would love to give you some gratuity. Because otherwise, they don't make a lot of money, and that fucking sucks. So I had a great time. I made new friends. I'm pleasantly sauced. I get to my flight. I've been upgraded to like a nicer seat for no fucking reason. I sit next to this cool ass couple that are so fun and nice. We pass out. We were delayed, so then we have to run to our next flight in Minnesota. We had a layover. So I'm running with this couple. And at this point, like, I think we're friends. And I don't know if I like lingered around too long, but like had a blast with them. Make it to Chicago at like 7 a.m. So like, I feel like I'm glazing over this airport experience too much. I'm a witch. I manifested getting into the airport lounge, and then I manifested a seat upgrade. And I just want to say, manifestation is real, because if you're fucking nice to people and you smile and you tip and you're nice and you put goodness out into the world, it comes back to you tenfold. And I like, as someone who used to be so negative and who truly did not believe that good things happened to me, I was like, holy shit, I must be like in this magnetic vibe right now. Like, this is incredible. And I'm just going to pay that energy forward and take it right into my trip this weekend. So it was a great way to kick off a trip that I had been looking forward to for so long. And then I got to Chicago at like 7 a.m. I was staying with my friend Liz in the suburbs for a few days with her kids. And we had the best time. Like, it was, and obviously, like, so she has 3 kids. Love them. They're like family to me. And like, but with 3 kids, like sometimes you have a plan of how things are going to go and you have to be flexible because like, you know, you don't know what's going to go on with the kids. And this was one of those trips where like, we watched every movie we wanted to watch. We ate every snack we wanted to eat. Like, everything just sort of came together perfectly. And like, her husband was out of town. Jake wasn't with me on the trip. So like, everything worked out and came together really, really well. And we were like, holy shit, like, this is amazing. We had so much fun. We got spray tans for our reunion because Liz is one of my college besties. We got spray tans. If you're ever in Elgin, Illinois, go to Glow Envy. My girl Cherise, she's amazing. My girl Cherise, she's incredible and so fun. And I like yapped with her about Bravo for like 10 minutes. And so we got our spray tans. And then we got lunch with our other college bestie, Shayna. And I got to meet Shayna's baby. And we had like a nice long girly pop lunch with Sauvignon Blanc and salads and table fries and yapping and catching up. And it was like truly so life-giving. And I think something that is both challenging and beautiful about friendships in your 30s, and especially friendships that you've had for a long time, is like, I've known these girls since I was 18 years old, and we are in like such different phases of life, and we're in physically different places, and you just sit down and you pick up where you left off. And like, even though it's fun to reminisce on the past, which was like the whole point of the college reunion, it's also like so fucking metal to be at a point where you're like, oh my God, I'm meeting your baby and he's perfect and amazing. And we're just like catching up. And like, in some ways we're the same people that we were when we were 18, but then we're also like, we have our frontal lobes fully developed and we have these cool lives that we get to talk about. And it was just like, I was just feeling so emotional and existential this entire fucking trip. And so this lunch and like all the details that had to be, like the logistics that had to be figured out for this lunch to happen, like did not go unappreciated by me. It was just like so fucking fun and amazing. And then I was holding her baby and my spray tan was like still drying and I accidentally got some spray tan on his onesie and that just like felt so right. It just felt so right that Auntie Hannah got some spray tan on his sweet little onesie and I was like, hell yeah. Hell yeah. He's been baptized by Glow Envy, Elgin, Illinois. So we had that amazing lunch. Then the next day was the reunion and we headed to the city. We had another amazing boozy lunch. And my friend Ashlyn joined us, my other college bestie. So another long, amazing lunch. We had lunch at Crosby's Kitchen, which I used to work at in Chicago. And when I was in my Huda Love Island era, I worked at Crosby's. Like I had many a crash out in the mop closet, as previously mentioned on this podcast. I had public meltdowns. I screamed at my boyfriend, like in the middle of the restaurant. Like I was a mess. And being able to have like a nice lunch there and like put my credit card down and get some points because I'm like a grown up with like a decent credit score now. Like it was really like a Wow, cool. Metal. And then we, of course, Shayna indulged me and she got some pictures of me in the mop closet because like that's important. It's an important part of my lore. At least to me it is. So then that night we had the reunion. We checked into our hotel. We stayed at a hotel near Wrigley Field, which was a shit show because it was Pride Fest and a Cubs game. So getting there and finding parking was the seventh circle of hell. But then once we were there, we were there. And we had so much fun just like pre-gaming, getting ready together, being silly geese. And something so gorgeous happened. And that is that we all felt cute. And all of our outfits came together. And you know, I was a little worried about mine because like, I'm not proud of this, okay? When I don't feel cute, I have a really hard time like being in a good mood. And I was mentally prepared. Like I was not going to bring down anyone's night, but like I had an outfit in my head that I had dreamed about wearing for months. It was these black little hot pants. It was this Charlie XCX t-shirt that said they either hate you for being too hot or they hate you for other stuff. My Charlie XCX sunglasses. I wanted to wear my hair down and wavy, my black boots. Like the whole look was fucking planned. But you know, you don't know how you're going to feel on a given day. You could like feel hot in that outfit 2 weeks prior when you try it on. Then you put it on that day and you're like, I actually hate this today. I don't feel good in it. So Jake, my angel, my Croatian king, had helped me pack. And he's like, you always feel great in a white baby tee and a black mini skirt. I think we should pack this just so you have a backup so that you're in a good mood no matter what. And I was like, my angel, of course. So I had a backup outfit, but the OG outfit that I wanted to wear, it came together and I felt so hot, especially with the spray tan. Shout out to Charisse one more once, Glow Envy, Elgin, Illinois. And we all just felt really good. And we get to the reunion and everyone was just in the best fucking mood. Like the vibes were just so high. Like we were all just like smiling ear to ear, laughing. Like I felt like it was just surreal. Like we were all like, oh my God, like it's so good to see you. And it's so cool to be at a point where like I graduated college 12 years ago. And it's cool to be at a point where like we've all gone to enough therapy where we're like, no one's holding weird grudges anymore. Nobody really cares. Like we all just want to like see each other and have fun and keep the vibes high. And it was just like really, really beautiful and really nostalgic. And I was thinking about this too. Like I was thinking about how in my 20s, I was really obsessed with like being impressive to people. Like I really just wanted to be someone that did impressive things. And I wanted to be someone that like proved people wrong. Like a lot of the ambitions that I had came from like an ego-based place of like wanting to like get revenge, like show people how amazing I am. Like I'll fucking show them. And like, of course, when that's a scarcity and like negative energy. So of course, like it's a lot harder to manifest from that place. And like, I know this sounds very like woo-woo and hippy-dippy. So like, please bear with me. But I genuinely believe like in my heart that like the thing that makes you impressive, like no one's going to remember like the awards that you won or the promotion that you got. They're going to remember how you made them feel. And like at this reunion, like I was talking to people being like, hey, I feel like in college I was like kind of a fucking idiot. And like, I'm sorry if I like ever like wasn't nice to you. And I was never intentionally mean in college, but I was really insecure. And so I would sort of just like, I would sort of be passive. And if I like saw something going on that I didn't like, I definitely wasn't brave enough to be like, hey, knock it off. And like, I've always had a snarky sense of humor. So it's like something that might be funny to me, like maybe wasn't funny to someone when we were like 19. So like, I was like, you know, drunk and happy and just like, oh my God, like, you know, laying it on thick with everybody because I was so like emotional and happy to see everyone. But like, I am at a point in my life where I like truly feel like if I never win like an Oscar, that's like what I really wanted as a young person. I was like, I want to win an Oscar. Like I have to get this thing, get cast in this thing. I have to be impressive. Like if those things don't happen and all I'm remembered for is like making people laugh and making people feel good, like that's enough for me. I'm not going to cry. But it's cool to be at a point where it's like, that's enough for me. Like that's like, that is what I want to leave behind, you know? And obviously like I'm a young person and like, hopefully I live to be like 100. But, you know, all it takes is losing someone young, like once in your life to make you feel like, I don't know how much time I have. And so it was nice to like go around this reunion and feel really proud of like how I presented myself and like feeling like I got to just like enjoy people and hopefully they enjoyed spending time with me too. It was just a really beautiful healing time. And I saw my first love, my like serious ex-boyfriend from like senior year of college. And we had not seen each other in forever. We were like so young, in our 20s, whatever. And we had like the sweetest, most healing conversation where it was just like, oh my God, I'm so happy to see you're doing well. Oh my God, that's so great. Blah, blah, blah. We got to catch up. And like at the end of the night when I was blammoed, I was like, it's just so crazy. I was like, it's just so crazy because like you were such an important part of my life. And like so much shit went down when we were so young. And now I'm just like so fucking happy that you're doing well. And I'm so happy to see you. And he was like, I feel the same way. And it was like so rad. And obviously, you guys, like if someone hurts you in a way that is like really fucking damaging and unforgivable, that is totally fine. You do not have to be warm and fuzzy with every person from your past. Sometimes you have to make a clean boundary and be like, that person needs to get the fuck away from me for my own well-being. Completely. Okay. But I just got lucky at this reunion that again, we had all gone to enough therapy where we were able to just be like very like theater kid, like lovey-dovey. And it was really, really sweet and really special. And yeah, back to the whole being impressive thing. Again, like I just want to reiterate, like we can't always control, like there's a lot we can't control in this life. Like we can't control if we get the promotion. We can't control, you know, if the person we have a crush on likes us back. There's a lot of things we can't control, okay? But we can always control how we make people feel. We can control being kind. We can control going out of our way to give someone a compliment for no fucking reason. We can control putting a little bit of extra money in the meter so that the next person who drives up has like 15 minutes of free parking. Like there's always a way to spread goodness in this world. And I'm sorry to sound soapboxy and like preachy, but I just think like the world right now is a really scary, fucked up place. And I think having these like authentic moments of human connection where it's just like, I see you as a human being. And even if we have a past, I don't fucking care. In this moment, I see you as a human being and I just want to say something nice, or I want to just have this authentic moment of connection. I think it is so fucking needed, you guys. Like, I really, really do. And with that said, I don't think it's ever too late for an apology. I don't think it's ever too late to tell someone you care about them. I don't think it's ever too late to reach out and be like, how the fuck are you doing? I just think we need to stop overthinking things like that. And just remember that if you're coming from a place of like genuine, heartfelt goodness and wanting to spread goodness in this world, fucking do it. Like, don't overthink it. Life is too short. Again, I got really existential on this trip, okay? But it was just so special and so beautiful to not only be so proud of everyone I went to college with and the lives that they're living, but also be proud of myself. Like, it was just really amazing. And it was one of those things where it's like, you don't need to be like best friends with everyone you've ever known, but it's nice to be in a place where you're like, I genuinely wish them well. And I've been in a place in my life where I've been like, no, it's fine. I wish them well. No, I wish them well. Like from that snarky, like vengeful place, like, yeah, and I hope they're happy. And it feels different in your spirit to be like, no, I genuinely just want people to be good. We don't have to be best friends. We don't have to text every day, but I want people to be good, you know? So it was really cool. And then the next day, like me and a couple gal pals got brunch, and it was like one of those things where just like at the end I was immediately sad because it was like that day after Christmas feeling where you're like, I've been looking forward to this for so long and it was so great and now it's over. And I was like immediately sad. But the cool thing was it went so well, and a lot of people were like, oh my God, I wanted I wish I could have come, or I want to do another one. So like hopefully there will be another one. I wonder if I'll make the next one my entire personality for like 4 months, but we'll see. But it was really, really special. And then I spent a few more days in Chicago. Saturday night, so the day after the reunion, I went to dinner with my sister at Mano a Mano in Logan Square. And it was like a million fucking degrees. It's this like cool, trendy new like Italian spot. It was so hot and there was no air conditioning in there and there was like no airflow. So the air was just like hot and like heavy. It felt like we were all just in this like heat blanket. And Alex and I were in like cute, like Alex was in like a tube top. My sister was in like a tube top and like a slip skirt. And I was in like a mini skirt and a little tank top. And we were like sweating. And so we couldn't even imagine what the servers were going through. And they were busy too, like running around, like tables inside, tables outside. And our server, shout out to Andre. Okay. He was amazing. But their uniforms were like those full body, like aprons, long sleeve button up shirts and pants. And it took our server Andre like a minute to get to us because he was weeded. And we were like, oh my God, no worries. We're having a great time. No problem. And we like totally vibed with Andre. And by the end of the night, he was like, we're going to do shots together. And he made us a shot and we had the best fucking time. We made a TikTok with him. We love Andre. We told the manager, like, we fucking love Andre. And he really, like, his recommendations were incredible. We had the best wine. We had the best experience. Like, despite the heat, we vibed with our server. And again, an authentic moment of human connection where, like, you know, someone else could have been like, it's so fucking hot in here, like taking it out on their fucking server. And instead we were all just like, it's so fucking hot, right? Anyway, like, how are you? And it was great. And it was such a fun dinner. And I hope they have their air conditioning fixed for Andre's sake. But if you're ever in the Logan Square area, go to Mano a Mano. The food was amazing. The wine was so good. And ask for Andre. Tell him Hannah sent you. Hopefully he'll remember me. I'll remember him forever. I will remember him forever. And then Sunday was kind of a hangout day. That's when I went on my walk and listened to Haim, and I got dinner with my little sister and my older sister and my brother-in-law in the suburbs. And then Monday, my dad took work off and we had a little day off together. And he took me to a nice brunch at the Peninsula, which again, I was feeling very abundant because I grew up with a lot of financial scarcity. And there was a time where like there was no world in which we were ever going to go to the Peninsula for brunch, much less on like a casual Monday morning. So I was just feeling very, very lucky and lucky to spend quality time with my dad. And then we went bowling at Timber Lanes in like the middle of a Monday, and the vibes were excellent. Timber Lanes in the North Center neighborhood of Chicago, excellent. I befriended the people who worked there. I befriended this regular named Terry who never bowls. He just comes in to drink. I got a free shot of Malort from Oleg who works there. He's awesome. And it was just like a really abundant trip of just like having cool experiences with people. And I will say that's something that I like love so much about Chicago and that I really crave in LA that's harder to come by in LA, which is just like having these like nice, authentic moments with strangers. And I feel like Midwestern culture is just like there's more of a normalcy to just connecting with a stranger. And here it's more like, what the fuck do you want? What are you trying to get out of me? Why are you talking to me? Like it's a little more of a standoffish vibe. And I think some of that comes from LA is just a very spread out place. So I think, and you're in your car alone a lot, like it can be a very isolating city. So I think that part of your brain where you're like, I'm just going to like sit on the train with someone and strike up a conversation. Like I think that part of your brain just sort of like, I don't know, like gets diminished out here just based on like the nature of the city itself. But it was really special to just have so many like authentic moments where I got to connect with people and make these good memories and just like vibe. Because again, you guys, like my mission this summer was to have fun. And I hope that you're all having fun. And if you're not, you will. We will get over this hump. I've had summers where I'm like, this summer is living fucking hell. And when fall comes, we are so fucking back. When September 1st hits and I take out my first pumpkin spice candle of the season, I am so back. And if that's your journey right now, just know it will be here before you know it, okay? But also, I just want everyone to think about like, I hope I don't sound preachy and annoying. I'm really sorry, okay? I just used to be such a bitter, nasty bitch. And so to be in this energy is really cool. And again, I could be a bitter, nasty bitch again tomorrow. This might not last forever. So I'm just like trying to enjoy it. But I just want us all to like take a minute to think about like, how can we spread goodness this week in a way that is like completely like no strings attached? Like just say something nice to a stranger, put extra money in your parking meter, pay for the person's coffee behind you. Just do something nice for the sake of doing it. And you don't need to post about it. Don't fucking tell anyone. Just do it for the sake of doing it. I think that is like what the world needs now is love, sweet love. Okay? Okay? And I do think that, and that's not to downplay like the very real, like fucked up things happening, but I do think to get through the day, we need to find those moments of just like kindness and levity. And so to put that energy out into the world is special and it's important and it's healing. And I think it's the way that we're all going to get through this crazy time, if I'm honest. Now, that being said, traveling home was rough. You know, it was one of those trips that was so high, there was nowhere to go but down. Mainly, I had 2 flights to get back. I flew from Chicago to Salt Lake, and then I flew from Salt Lake to LA. The flight from Salt Lake to LA is an hour and a half. It's just a little bit longer than you would like it to be. It should be like an hour and 5, but it's an hour and a half. Once you get over an hour and 15, you're like, ugh, that's like a full movie, you know? And I didn't want to be on that plane for the length of a full movie. I was tired. And I was in a middle seat. I'm just thinking about how on the way there, I was like in a lounge and then I was upgraded and to an aisle seat. And like on the way back, I was in a middle seat, which is like my least favorite. I was like, oh, how the mighty have fallen. And I was next to this very tall man who had horrific body odor. And I'm not trying to be a beast, okay? But I am going to say, when you're in close quarters with people, you just got to be aware of what you smell like. Give yourself a little extra spritz of something, a little extra deodorant in the pits, because this was a lot for a confined space, okay? So I'm in the middle seat and my phone is dying. And I thought I had a charger, but the charger I had did not fit into the like USB portal thing on the plane in the seat. So my phone was dead. And between these two men, one whom is very tall and happens to not smell great. And I just had anxiety at every turn. And I really, again, I was feeling so existential. And I was like, that trip was so amazing. I bet this is how I die. I bet this flight goes down. Like I was spiraling. I had just that like post-trip blues, post-trip anxiety, but also I like had to like stop myself and be like, but Hannah, in previous years, there were years in LA where like I like loved my life with like me and Jake and like our family out here, but I felt kind of siloed. Like I didn't feel like I had as big of a community out here as I wanted. And this was one of like the first years where I'm like flying back and I'm like, but I have like so many people that I can't wait to see and that I can't wait to catch up with. And like that was a really cool feeling too. But I wasn't there when I wasn't mentally in that positive headspace when I was on the plane. On the plane, I was like, I'm going to die and this guy smells bad and this fucking sucks. But I got home. I made some flyby jing noodles, of course. Was catching up on Love Island. And once I was like back in my routines, I was unpacking, I was doing my laundry, I was starting to feel a little bit better. But then I had a really low mental health day. And like, it was helpful to have friends be like, you're having the post-vacation blues. They're very normal. They happen all the time. They happen to us all. There's nowhere to go but down after a trip that was just such a constant high of like, like I love everyone and I love my life and this is so great. And I have a spray tan. Like the spray tan faded and so did my joy. I was in the middle of a work day. This was like right after I got back. So I got back Tuesday. This was like last Wednesday or Thursday. It was last Thursday. And I find out that my buddy Tiny Chef got canceled. Now, if you don't know who Tiny Chef is, he is a very special character that came to life on, I believe, TikTok and YouTube. I found him in either 2021 or 2022. He's this cute little stop motion green blob man who is the cutest little cutie in the world. He's a vegetarian chef and he has his best friends, Henry and Ruby, but he has a little speech impediment. So he's like, Henry and Ruby. And Henry is a snail and Ruby is a caterpillar. And he got a Nickelodeon show a couple of years ago. And Nickelodeon, he won 2 Emmys. Tiny Chef won 2 Emmys. And Nickelodeon fucking canceled it. And so the creators of Tiny Chef took to TikTok and made a video of Tiny Chef answering a phone call from Nickelodeon and hearing the news that he was canceled. And when I tell you, obviously we're all pretty, like after a trip, everyone's a little bit raw. You know, it's like you've been traveling, you're tired, maybe you're dehydrated, you're not in your routine. I was very raw. But when I tell you this is the most devastating video I've ever seen in my life, he's dusting his little tiny plant. He gets a call and he's like, hello, Nickelodeon, with his little, he's like, hello, Bicaflodian. He has his little like speech impediment and they tell him he's canceled and he goes, ah! And then he's like, but what? And he like argues with them, not in like a mean way, but he's like, I have so many good ideas. Like my ideas are going to blow your mind. And I know that Ruby didn't behave on set, but like she's been trained, she'll be better. And like, he's like begging them to, I'm going to cry. He's like begging them to keep him on the air. And, you know, he's like, but what about, and he names all these people. He's like, what about this person? What about all my friends like from the show? And he's like, okay, I understand. He gets off the phone. I'm so sorry, you guys. And he tries to keep dusting his little plant, but then he just drops the duster and he starts sobbing and he just sits on his bed sobbing. And it is the most like devastating thing I've ever seen in my life. And luckily, I was not alone in feeling that way because TikTok is up in arms. People who have never heard of Tiny Chef before are like, Nickelodeon, fuck you for making Tiny Chef cry. We have to save Tiny Chef. We have to save Tiny Chef and his show and Henry and Wibby. I call Jake Wooby, and part of why I call him Wooby is because of Tiny Chef being like, Wooby. The first Tiny Chef video I ever saw was in 2022, he's like getting ice cream in the middle of the night. It's a TikTok where he's getting ice cream in the middle of the night singing. It was when About Damn Time by Lizzo came out, and he's like, he like changes the words to be about ice cream. And then you know the part in About Damn Time when Lizzo goes, cause I don't give a fuck way too much. What does she say? I'm about 2 shots in my cup. He changed the lyrics and he goes, cause I just care way too much. I'm about to put 2 scoops in my cup, 1 chocolate fudge, 1 vanilla bean. Ooh, that's how I feel right now. And I was like, this little tiny green guy is singing about how he cares too much and he's going to eat ice cream to cope with his feelings. And from that moment on, I was like, I am in with Tiny Chef. So seeing him sad really fucked with me, obviously. And so there's a link in my show notes if you want to help save Tiny Chef. But that like really fucked me up, okay? First and foremost. Then I just had a really low career moment. Like I had a really low like feeling about just like being a content creator and what am I doing and this show and how I'm not like growing quickly enough and like what the fuck is the point? And like I've been at it for so long. Like you guys, I started podcasting in 2016. Let that sink in. 2016. And I've been making content in some capacity like since before then. So it's like I was feeling really lame. I was like, I saw like this cool like brand trip that like I wasn't invited on. And like I like posted about a brand that didn't share me, but they were sharing all these other like really aesthetic, like chic creators. And I was just having all this imposter syndrome about feeling like I'm behind, feeling like I'm lame, feeling like I'm a loser. And thankfully I have like really amazing friends and friends also in the creative space who are like pursuing similar things than me, who are just like able to like hold space and be there with me and also like hype me up. And it was so special to be able to like lean on so many amazing people in my life. But like between that and Tiny Chef, I was feeling really fucking low. And I will say this week, like I'm back for sure. Like, and it was helpful to also have a friend be like, keep in mind, you just got back from a trip. Like it's okay. Take a deep breath. It's going to be okay. And so like, I think I just needed those first few days post trip to be over. And now that like I have a weekend under my belt, I feel like a weekend back in town under my belt, I feel a lot better. But like, I wanted to bring up those feelings I had, not because I wanted to make anyone feel bad for me, but just because like even while I was having those feelings, I was like, okay, I've been here before. Every now and then I feel like shit about myself and my career. And I will feel this way again someday, but I know that this is temporary. And I just wanted to like bring that up on the pod because I'm like, if any of you are feeling that way, if you're feeling low or behind, I'm here to tell you that you're not. I'm here to tell you that that negative headspace you're in, it's like a fog and it can lift at any moment. But make sure you're leaning on people in your life and remember that like it will not feel that way forever. And whatever you want to do, like keep going because like as I was in that low mood, I got a nice message from one of you guys being like, I love the show. And it meant so much to me. And whatever you're pursuing, I just want you to know that even on the days when you feel like you're not doing enough, or when you feel like you're behind, those things are not true. You have to keep going. You owe it to yourself to keep going. And whatever you're working on, I'm proud of you and I'm in it with you. And we all have low days because we're all human and that's okay. And we can Ariana Grande, Cynthia Erivo, hold space, hold that finger and hold space for those feelings. But just know they're always temporary and you are always doing enough and you're always working towards something. And I talked about this when I was drunk at my reunion, but like, I think we see like quote successful and like going back to earlier, like impressive people as these like overnight successes. But it's like, first of all, I think it's important for all of us to get specific about like, what does success even look like? Like, what the fuck does it even mean? And like, are your goals about your ego? Like I was saying how my old goals were when I was younger. Or are they about like, are they rooted in your like authenticity and things that you actually fucking want? Because if that's the case, like you will get there. Like you just need to keep following your joy. You need to keep following what feels good and you will get there. But like, I think defining success for ourselves and remembering that when we achieve the things that make us happy, we are a success story. You don't need to be some big famous person or a billionaire to be an impressive person or a successful person. Your happiness is like literally all that matters, whatever that looks like for you, okay? So if you're feeling low about career stuff or something in your life that you're working towards, just remember, have fun, listen to yourself, listen to your inner child, honor what that little person inside of you loves and loves to do and the types of people that they love to be around. And I promise you, you cannot go wrong, okay? I hope that was helpful. I felt a little soapboxy today, but I hope it was helpful. And now to close out the episode, let's get into grow up. These two are very specific, but I think they're pretty good. First one, Devil Wears Prada 2 is officially in production. And apparently Adrien Grenier will not be returning because he does not appreciate that the internet dubbed him the villain of the first movie. And to that I say, Adrien Grenier, grow up. Who cares? It's a joke. It's the Devil Wears Prada. And Adrien Grenier, your character, not you, your character in the first movie was a bit of a dick. He was a bit of a dick. He wasn't a very supportive boyfriend. He just wanted Andy to be home eating his grilled cheeses all the time, telling him how good they were. God forbid she has a glow up and starts enjoying clothes and gets a promotion. Fucking sue her, okay? So that character needed to grow up. But Adrien Grenier to be like, no, it hurts my feelings that people think he's a villain. I'm not coming back for the second movie. Honey, grow up. Grow up. And honestly, I hope they write into the second movie yeah, he did end up being kind of a dick. And that's why Andy and him broke up. And hopefully in the second movie, Andy fucks some hot person and we get to see her date around because that would be fun. But Adrien Grenier, grow up. This next one is really niche, but I hope you understand. This is sort of general, but in a movie when the good guy thinks that he got the bad guy and he hasn't killed the bad guy yet, but he's I'm about to, and he's feeling confident that he's about to finally win and beat the bad guy's ass. And the bad guy slowly starts laughing and is and because they know something that the good guy doesn't, and they know that the good guy is fucked. Grow up. I don't like that. I think that is so fucking mean, and I don't like that. And I know that that's just a bad guy being bad. I know that that's the point, but I think laughing in someone's face when they've claimed victory and you know that you're about to fuck them over, I think that is so fucking mean. So to bad guys who laugh at the good guys when they know that the good guy is maybe about to lose, I say, grow up. It's not nice. It's not nice. That was a really niche one. And I was thinking about that randomly the other day. I'm if I were a good guy, if I were I don't know, in some sort of medieval movie, I was a knight and I was about to stab the bad guy or whatever with my dagger or my sword. And they just start going, I would be fuck you. And then I'd probably just start stabbing, but not a nice thing to do. Anyway, I feel I've lost all of you at this point, but in closing, thank you all so much for listening. Just a couple housekeeping things at the end. I have some upcoming stand-up shows in LA. I'm performing at the Hollywood Comedy on July 19th and at Yamashiro on July 22nd. Super exciting. There will be links in the show notes for you. And also, I'm officially an Athleta brand ambassador, which is really exciting. I love Athleta, so that's also in the show notes if you want to shop my Athleta favorites. I'm slowly building out my store because I want to make sure that I test out everything in all my different walks of life. But the two items that are in my storefront so far are my two faves, the Elation legging and then the Salutation crop jacket are my two faves. But check that out if you're in the mood for some new athletic wear. If you love the show, leave it a rating and a review. Send it to a friend. Again, thank you so much for listening. Thank you for your amazing messages. I hope you have a gorgeous, wonderful, spectacular, hot, sexy, fabulous week, and I will see you soon. Bye.